Frenchman Gael Monfils on Sunday. The victory marks Nadal's 68th win for the 100 finals on the ATP World Tour. With Sports Update, Keneng Imabodike, NTA News.
Here is the weather outlook for Monday.
Welcome to the weather forecast. We're expecting a link between the northern hemisphere mid-latitude trough and the equatorial trough over us. They should enhance moisture influx, leading to buildup of weather systems. As such, we expect a cloudy morning over most parts of the country. The afternoon is where we expect this link to be fully established and a wider spread in rainfall activities as thunderstorms are anticipated to the northwestern flank of the country, the central states, the Mambila axis, and the inland areas of the south. To the coastal region, thundery showers mixed with rains are most likely. As for the extreme northeastern flank, partly cloudy conditions may be witnessed all through. And here is the temperature forecast. From the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, we say keep a date.
Well, that is all we have on the news segment of Newsline. Becky will soon be back with those juicy stories she promised you earlier on. Just continue watching the NTA.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The Governor of Cross River State, His Excellency, Senator Professor Ben Ayade, his wife, Dr. Mrs. Linda Ayade, and the people of Cross River State welcome Her Excellency, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, to the official flag-off of the Maternal Newborn and Child Health Week in Cross River State at the Ecom Township Stadium, Ecom Local Government Area, Cross River State. Date, Monday 18th April 2016, time 11 a.m. In this visit, she will also be commissioning 2 comprehensive primary health care centers at Ecom in line with the change agenda of having 1 functional primary health care center in every ward. She will be flagging off the Project Future Assured in Cross River State. Indeed, with Project Future Assured, the future is assured for mothers and children in Cross River State. Your Excellency, welcome to Cross River State.
The land is green. Yes, the land is green. The federal government is working diligently to keep the land green. In line with the vision of government, the Debt Management Office is committed to managing Nigeria's debt as asset for growth, development, and poverty reduction. Be a part of building a better Nigeria by investing in FGN bonds. FGN bonds offer several benefits to investors. Principal and interest are guaranteed and secured by the federal government of Nigeria. They are listed and traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. They can be used as collateral for borrowing. Investors receive guaranteed competitive fixed income every 6 months, as well as principal amount at maturity. You can invest as little as 10,000 naira in the FGN bond. To be part of this great offer, see your stockbroker, banks, or discount houses for details. DMO, using FGN bonds to support sustainable economic development.
What if your next phone could take photos like a pro? Like that one, even in low light. Busted.
We were just talking.
What if it gave you a memory to expand to store all your
He has
pictures?
more followers than me.
And what if it worked in this weather? I did warn you. And what if you could do all that and still look this good? Not you, buddy. Sorry.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new way of life and exquisite standard of living. Enjoy your own originally designed and quality-built home in the serene and secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
Thanks for staying on the line. You'll find this very inspiring. The man is physically challenged. His name is Danladi Zokwa. He lives in a village in the Kuje Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory called Chibiri 2. What he does for a living is amazing given his physical challenge. That he is successful in it is mind-blowing. I will quench your curiosity right away by handing you over to none other than Oyinaya Kaluoka, who traced him to his domain just to bring you this exclusive.
Joining to Kuje Area Council, one thought the next step was meeting the palm wine tapper. But lo and behold, the journey had just started. It was a Herculean task, driving through rough road of Chibiri 2 village in Kuje, then trekking into the forest of about 30 minutes to meet Danladi Zokwa, a 30-year-old indigene of Basa in Gwagwalada Area Council, Abuja. When we met Danladi, he was getting ready with his working tools for the early morning tapping.
I used to be a commercial motorbike rider before I was involved in an accident 3 years ago.
Getting close to the tall trees, one wonders how he's able to climb, an art considered generally challenging.
Rather than being idle, I decided to learn the art from my elder brother, a tapper.
It was fascinating watching Danladi. Despite his condition, he has devised a means of climbing the tall trees to harvest palm sap for the past 4 years.
It is not an easy task. Since I have no option, I make do with this one for now.
Danladi can climb up to 5 to 10 trees a day, depending on how many trees he paid for, as tappers are usually not landowners.
I tap in the morning, afternoon and evening.
Customers come from different parts of the territory to buy Danladi's palm wine in the bush.
Badoski, you see palm wine, ba?
Just because we want to come and get the real palm wines, they are from the source.
He doesn't put anything. It's natural.
While in his house in Chibiri 2 village, we met his wife and 2 kids. With the little he makes, he supports his family.
Every morning, before waking up, my husband would have left to the bush.
It depends. Sometimes I tap about 20 liters or more a day, making about 3,000 naira daily.
To his customers and neighbors, Danladi has proven that disability should not hinder one from achieving his goal.
It's a very big challenge to Nigerian youths.
It's better for him to do this than to go to the street begging.
If Nigeria can consider him, or our government can consider him to just at least to help this man.
Looking at Danladi climb the tree, it seems quite easy. That I gave a try. Wow, it is easier said than done.
Danladi is quite an inspiration. There are no limitations in life except you create them yourself. Moving on, the havoc unleashed on the people of the northeast of Nigeria, especially by the Boko Haram insurgents, is no longer news. Millions of people became internally displaced. Fleeing the insurgents, they found refuge in different parts of the country. In this report, we'll tell you about the ones who fled to Gombe. The state government made way for them to fully integrate into the host community, and they are doing exemplary things worth talking about. You will be impressed when you hear this report about them from Usman Aliyu.
Galadima is 56 years. He hails from Damboa, Borno State, but now lives in Gombe. Musa was a successful farmer until the fateful evening of 20th July 2014 when Boko Haram insurgents besieged Damboa. Musa is among the survivors who found another home in Gombe. Now, he acquires a new business skill of making nests and baskets. These products are sold in villages and towns like Mudi. The prices range from 300 to 500 naira. Isa Abubakar is also living a better life as a displaced trader. Indeed, internally displaced persons in Gombe State fend for themselves, live together with communities. And this was the idea of Gombe State government on the integration of displaced persons with the community, as re-emphasized by Governor of the state at a recent function.
I will be happier to provide a house for him very close to my house. That is our belief in Gombe. That is what we have been doing. And I encourage my other governors in the Northeast to please do that. Make them people. Integrate them as part of any community or a part of any society that they are in. It's not their wish to be in the situation that they are.
In Gombe, we also had people who donated their house free of charge. The state government also provided funds for those who cannot rent houses.
The benefits of the integration of IDPs, according to Emergency Management Agency in Gombe, are multiple.
We understood our people, and we wanted people to get over the trauma. It's one of the best therapies you can give a man.
That aside, Malam Bulama, the leader of the IDPs who also survived Damboa attack with pregnant wife and aged mother with little children, expressed gratitude to President Buhari's government for the defeat of the insurgents. But he pleaded with the government to consider them over the reconstruction of their destroyed houses.
My house is destroyed.
We are pleading to President Buhari to compensate us.
Ton of events for IDPs. Kudos to the state government for changing their lives. In Afikpo North local government area of Oboyin State is a community whose traditional ruler is a woman. When Paul Ogaji sighted her at an event, curiosity took the better part of him. He pursued her up close and personal. He found out many things about her, among which is the reason why she sits on the throne of her community. Let's meet her.
Oana in Oboyin State is a border town situated on a hill, sharing boundaries with Cross River State. Being a coastal town, Oana is endowed with a stretch of beaches. Standing on a beach in clear weather, the Cameroon Mountains in Central Africa can be sighted. Oana is the host community of the Federal Polytechnic in Oboyin State, the first east of the Niger. Now, the person who runs the town in traditional capacity is a female. She is the regent of Oana. I became curious at an event she was so introduced. I followed up on this information and found out that Princess Alo Ebiam is the daughter of late Akan Ebiam, the Ezogo of Oana, who was also the first governor of the then Eastern region. Princess Alo Ebiam has been the regent of Oana for 20 years. How did this happen, since the late Ezogo of Oana had the heir to the throne, the first son?
This happened after I'd been away with my family in Canada, having come to visit my old man, as they call him, Ezogo Kanu Ebiam. I was assisting him much more than unexpected, going with him to various meetings. We were in Abia State at the time. And this is so happened that it turned out to be the last 3 years of his life, because when he died, I took it as a matter of course just to pack up and start going back to my family in Canada. But the community invited me to become the regent.
As a female regent, what challenges does she face in the discharge of her duties?
We've had, as any society would expect, its ups and downs. It takes time, because it takes time for human capital development. How much more? Just one person. Then how much more, much more, when a whole set of heads make up a community. So over time, we began to understand ourselves.
I couldn't help but ask if she does not feel odd or out of place at gatherings with other traditional rulers who no doubt are men.
Let me say that I was almost prepared for this kind of thing before. You have to remember that my mother comes from Yoruba land, where there's a lot of historic traditions. But coming here too, we have been used to coming home and seeing what is required. But at the same time, in the wider community of the world, there's been change between men and women. And with gender sensitivity, I was prepared.
How about the heir to the throne, her brother, the prince? What's her relationship with him?
The reception is exceptionally good. Having put me in this position, they have got, their psyche is ready.
She's a neutralizer of conflicting forces. I think that is what she does. If I were there, I probably would have taken sides, but she manages to remain neutral.
Her cabinet, she says, runs smoothly because she devised a means to make it so.
Here in Owana, the custom of the people is being done by the men. When it comes to administration, it's being done by her cabinet.
The regent of Ana is a courageous woman.
She has done marvelously well that we cannot, there is no comparison, if I must say.
Her vision for Wana community.
To make sure that a lot of our youths become self-confident and empower them, to let them know also, to know the values of the old, respect, transparency, accountability, which has been forgotten for long.
If she remains on the throne as regent to grand old age and death, what will happen to the royal stool?
By that time, it's not hereditary. The position goes around various membership of a clan, of one clan. So when that time comes, they will be able to appoint the person.
I love the regent's push accent. Very nice. Yes, wishing her all the wisdom she needs to hold the fort at Uwana. Now, this report is from Bilkisu Abdurazak Odoye, our correspondent in the United Kingdom. She tells us that a Nigerian by name Ademilola Odujinri, an indigene of Ogun State, is set to make history. Bilkisu says the young man, who is 37 years old, is on his marks to fly a single-engine plane around the world. Do you know that in the 120 years of aviation history and 114 recorded solo flights, none has been by a Nigerian or African? Ademilola told Bilkisu in London that all is set for the takeoff from Lagos to 22 countries and 5 continents.
It has been Ademilola's childhood dream as a little boy growing up in Surulere and Ilupeju areas of Lagos, Nigeria, to fly a plane around the world. And each time he sights a plane, would look up to the sky, making his wish.
What we do need is a lot of ambassadors that kids could look up to and see that through hard work they could achieve whatever it is they set their mind on.
Through thick and thin, but not giving up on his dream after graduating from a flight school in England, Lola planned and prepared for his age-long dream to become reality with the support of family and few who believed.
It's been a very tough road. It's been a very hard journey.
To ensure that as we go along the way, we are going to be creating educational programs and so on and so forth for the African youth.
Ademilola, who has been flying for 17 years, 5 as a commercial pilot, says flying a single-engine plane solo is not easy, but is prepared to fly the average of 8 hours and a maximum of 14 hours before the 33 stops around the world.
I would not eat anything but rations. Rations are what the military take when they go into battle.
For Lola's family, it is a mission they have been preparing for in the past decade and one they look forward to with mixed feelings.
We are very encouraged by the fact that we know that he would have fantastic equipment on board the aircraft that would ensure his safety. Ultimately, I go down on my knees and I say, God, let your will be done.
I wish he has a good flight and a good day, and I hope he's safe to fly.
And I hope he's safe as he goes around the world.
Nigeria's acting High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Ada Simon Oga, expressed pride in Ademilola Odunjirin.
When you achieve something, you want to aim higher, and that is part of dreaming. So I think it's good for us to support him and as he lives his dream.
The husband and father of two who expressed appreciation to those who have lent their support to the One Man, One Plane, One World project is expected to take off from Lagos, Nigeria towards the end of April or first week of May 2016 and return same place after his 6 weeks adventure.
Ademilola will be on Newsline when he completes his round trip. You can be sure of that. Godspeed to him. Retiring from public service, why do most Nigerians dread it? So intense is this fear that government has to prepare their minds months before the D-Day through workshops and seminars. We have a package for you on this topic when we come back from this break. Stay on the line.
Umaru, you need to give me discounts on this coupon. Abi now, but you suppose enjoy money well.
You too like a wolf.
They make sure they wear you. Me when we say I don't dey enjoy this awoof berekete since I don't join the tea salad as a new customer. If I load 1,000, they go give me 2,500 naira. As a matter of fact, then go give you 25% of what you don't load after 30 days to cut all a tea salad line. I will buy their 1 gig fast speed data for just 500 naira. One time!
Buy your Etisalat SIM today and enjoy these massive bonuses.
Umaru! You see that, yeah?
So now what thing you enjoy for Etisalat line with this call? I dey go buy my Etisalat line sharp.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
The Vice Chancellor, Bahero University, Kano, Professor Mohammad Yahuza Bello, on behalf of Council, Senate, and entire university community, cordially invites the public to the 32nd convocation ceremonies scheduled from Wednesday 20th April to Saturday 24th April 2016 at the Convocation Arena, New Campus, Wazo Road, Kano, by 9 a.m. daily. Day 1, Convocation Ceremony for graduates of these faculties. Day 2, Convocation Ceremony for graduates of these faculties. Day 3, Convocation Lecture, Speaker, Barrister A.B. Mahmood, Son, Chairman, Professor S.A.S. Galadanchi. Day 4, Investiture and Conferment of Honorary Degree of Doctor of Laws on the Chancellor, His Royal Majesty, King Alfred Papa Priye Theatre Spieth, Award of Higher Degrees. Fatima Binta Mohammed, Registrar, Announcer.
Can your milk do this?
Love is boiled sweet stuck to your pockets. Love is a kiss.
Can your milk do this?
Can your milk do this? Mine can.
With Hollandia evaporated milk, your cereals, smoothies, and variation of beverages taste pleasantly different. Hollandia evaporated milk. Life tastes different.
House of Cheese.
Did you know with Hollandia evaporated milk, you get a whole lot more. You get 25% more milk than 170 grams. Go for more. Go for Hollandia evaporated milk, 215 grams pack. Hollandia evaporated milk, 25% more, same price.
House of Cheese.
Why do you shave with Big One Razor?
Because it's hygienic.
Thanks to it, I look good every day. It's always convenient.
It gives me a close shave, just the way I like it.
It has everything to please, just like me.
Because it's simply a good razor at a good price.
Big One Razor, so unique, so many reasons to love it.
Enjoy the creamy taste of new Cadbury Bonvita, made from rich chocolate, vitamins and minerals in an attractive new pack. Cadbury Bonvita. Prepare to win.
Welcome back. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, says the bank will continue to give financial support to industrialists who are committed to the economic growth and development of Nigeria. He said this during an inspection visit to Sunti Golden Sugar Estate Factory in Mukwa local government area of Niger State. The 45 billion naira project is a joint effort of the Niger State government and Flour Mills of Nigeria, owners of the Sunti Golden Sugar brand. Dauda Mohammed reports.
Sunti Golden Sugar Estate is a 16,500 hectare farm in Sunti, Mokwa local government area of Niger State, which is a solely owned subsidiary of Flour Mills of Nigeria and was conceived in 2010. The idea behind the sugar mill is to, when fully operational, produce 100,000 metric tons of sugar annually, generate 10 megawatts of electricity, and provide employment to 15,000 youths, including 3,500 direct jobs and 3,000 small-scale outgrowers. Already, 2,000 hectares of farmland have been planted with sugarcane, which is expected to feed the state-of-the-art installed mill with the capacity to produce 4,500 tons of sugar per day when fully operational. About 16 billion naira has so far been invested in the estate out of the projected 45 billion naira for the completion of the project, which is expected to save the country $50 million annually.
Almost close to about 25 to 26 billion was committed by the Central Bank of Nigeria through its intervention fund at single-digit interest rate of 7% to flour mills. Aside from providing the funding, the Central Bank of Nigeria was also involved in providing the foreign exchange with which the company imported the plants and equipment that is going to be used for the refinement of the sugar.
We hope that Sunti Estate will form the nucleus of the agricultural potentials in Niger State.
We have a long way to go. This farm represents 100,000 tons. Nigeria imports 1.5 million tons. We would like, with God's grace and the government and the Emir's help, to expand this plantation to 20,000 hectares.
We're willing to work with outgrowers who will produce sugar cane to support the nucleus of 10,000 hectares that we have here. 10,000 hectares will not even be enough for the mill that we have in place. So we need outgrowers.
Sunti Golden Sugar Estate Factory is part of Flour Mills of Nigeria's backward integration program under the National Sugar Master Plan for the production of locally refined sugar to address sugar needs of Nigeria.
It was double celebration for the president of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Alhaji Najim Usman Yassin. He attained the age of 60 at the same time that he was conferred with a traditional title. It was turbaned in Gusau, Zamfara State by the Sarikin Kasinan Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello Adamu. To tell us about it is Abdullahi Musa Suleja.
President of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Alhaji Najim Usman Yassin, who was born and brought up in Gusau, Zamfara State, is also president of OFA Descendant Union, ODU, Home and Abroad, Deputy President, National Labour Congress, and a native of OFA in Kwara State. The celebrant, Najim Usman Yassin, had his primary and secondary school education, driving career and union activities within Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara axis. The Emir of Gusau, known as Sarkin Katsanan Gusau, Alhaji Ibrahim Bello, said the contributions of Alhaji Yassin to the emirate earned him the title of Makaman Gusau.
He has been assisting people to go to the hospital when they are sick out of his own resources. So people of his character are very much needed in our community.
Zamfara State Deputy Governor Alhaji Ibrahim Muhammad Wakala, who represented the governor, urged the Makama to be good ambassador of the emirate and the state wherever he finds himself. The Olof of Oba Muftau Bwadamasi, who also graced the occasion, said he has no doubt in the capacity of Makama to deliver. After the turbaning, the Makama, friends and well-wishers, especially members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers from 36 states in Abuja, rode on horseback from the Emir's Palace to Ansar-e-Din Mosque, where prayers were offered, led by Sheikh Muhyiddin Ajani Bello. At a reception, different musicians in and around Zamfara and those from other states of the Federation performed to rejoice with the Makama.
I know him on his own. I'm sure he will do quite a lot. This thing is going to go into the history of the National Union of Road Transport Workers.
For one to be picked among us in the National Union, I think it's a great thing for us.
And may Allah give Makama the zeal to push the Emirate Council further.
I assure the Gusau Emirate Council and Zamfara State as a whole that I move the Emirate forward, inshallah.
1, 2, 3.
Moving on, at the thought or mention of retirement from active public service, employees develop a headache. The fear of retiring from work, especially by those who are close to the exit, is alarming. Why is this? Especially in view of the fact that in not too distant past, people not only looked forward to retirement or exited with their heads held high. It was for them a great and welcome achievement. Let's hear what the people have to say from Jane Ujuku.
In Nigeria, the statutory working age of a civil servant is 60 or 35 years of unbroken active service, with the exception of judicial officers and academic staff of tertiary institutions, which are 70 and 65 years, respectively. By the time the person attains this age, his marginal physical productivity would have declined, hence the need to retire. Government makes provision for a retiring officer to receive gratuity and monthly pension to sustain him during retirement. Why then do most Nigerians view retirement as a nightmarish experience?
The fear of the unknown. You are coming out of job. The salary is not enough in the first place. Then you are coming out of that job, not sure of your pension or gratuity. You may not receive it before your death. So how will you be happy to go on retirement?
Before, when you retire, you are sure of the direction. You can plan yourself. But these days, even if you plan yourself and the money is going down.
Apart of that, the pension paid to them, it cannot even afford them even to feed themselves.
Many of the retirees don't get their money, even some die in the process of waiting for their retirement. They have to be shuttling Abuja, Lagos, or wherever their destination is.
To escape retiring at the appropriate time, some workers in both private and public service go out of their way to prolong their stay in active service.
People reduce their age so as to remain within the 60 years.
With such scenario presented by respondents, the challenge might be better imagined than experienced.
We have hypertension and the rest of it. We have a sickness in all forms of things that you can develop if you are not truly prepared.
But is there anything the government can do to improve the post-retirement condition of the senior citizens?
The insurance people, they should educate people over this annuity and program withdrawal better.
In fact, everybody need to go back to old fashion of a thing. When you retire, get your full money. If you like, spend it on a day. If you like, utilize it.
Economic policies of the government should need to be put in place to address those issues. One of which is that pensions should be indexed inflation. So as inflationary rate increases, just like we have seen an increase in inflation from 11.4 to 12.8, there should be an adjustment in the pension that retirees earn, so that they will still be able to afford the same quantity or the same volume of goods and service as to sustain some decent living standard.
How can a person still in service prepare adequately for retirement?
Firstly, you must have the discipline of investing. So once you earn your salary, you must set aside something, some portion of it from day one. And that amount you set aside must be invested in an asset. It could be, depending on the amount you set aside, you could start from fixed deposit. It could be 20,000. It could be 10,000. You fix it for 90 days or 30 days, and then you roll it over. And then every month you are putting something looks like an annuity. If you are saving 10,000, every month you do 10,000. In a year, you would have done 120,000. The interest on it would take it about 156,000. And then the next year, you are starting to build from 156,000. So that discipline must continue. Then as your investment is growing, you now put more in other more solid assets like real estate.
Start saving for the future. You maybe 10% of what you are earning, start putting aside for retirement, because retirement is something that will come.
There's nothing in the laws that will stop a civil servant from having a small poultry at his or her backyard. These are areas through which a civil servant can augment his or her salary. Because the salary is very poor because the value of the naira is very low.
Observers say that the government, the employee and the employer have critical roles to play to ensure that the nightmarish feeling associated with retirement is permanently erased. This, they say, will ultimately restore the feeling of pride in retiring from active service, knowing that a reasonably fair standard of living lies ahead.
All it takes is proper planning and you can walk into the sunset without anxiety. Have you observed that these days in our country there are so many single men and women who have gone past the age of eligibility but are still searching and hoping that one day they would find their God-ordained partner and settle down in marriage? Why can't the numerous single men and women just find each other, get married and settle down? Or is there more to it than meets the eye? This report compiled by Imeodori explores the options.
The first question we had to ask was whether there's an appropriate age for men and women to get married.
When you're up to 25, supposed to be thinking of marriage.
27 years is okay. But in the days of our fathers and grandfathers, marriage was contracted when couple was still very young, perhaps in their late teens and early 20s. This age has skyrocketed to late 20s, 30s, 40s, and sometimes 50s before a lot of people in Nigeria today settle down in marriage. Can it be true that people these days are afraid of getting married?
The first question is that, is he working? If he handle the woman, not to feed the woman is the problem. If he get birth to baby, how are we going to take care of that baby? That's the issue.
No money, as in, for them to take care of themselves.
As the result of men, disappointing women, that makes some women not to step into the issue of marriage.
What do these wise men have to say about this?
God, who created the world, made man and woman to have better fulfillment in life when they stay together. That's what the Bible says, two is better than one. And that's also when God gave Adam a wife. So the man's life is incomplete without a wife.
Look at it from the other side, the physiological disadvantage of not going into marriage, the psychosocial disadvantage, the issue of security even, and so many other things. The emotional disadvantage. So when you look at it, the price you are paying is greater compared to what you want to achieve.
Well, though hardly a week goes by nationwide that marriages are not contracted, many have observed that the number of unmarried men and women is still very high. What can be responsible for this?
Phobia for emotional, you see how my husband will be beating me just like the husband of my neighbor always beat her. That phobia could also make people say, if this is what marriage is, let me think twice. I'm waiting. I'm still studying. And some people keep on studying until they get to 30, 40, 50. They are still studying.
The economy is a problem. And how does a young man of 25 marry when his take-home pay is not much?
On the ladies' side, most of them are scared. They want to say, well, I've been suffering. I don't want to go in a place where it's not well made. And then because of that, I have to wait the right man. And the right man is a man who has a car.
If he doesn't have anything to cater for a woman, it cannot start. That person will not start talking about marriage.
Can there be any spiritual explanation?
We don't rule out spiritual attack. And spiritual attack has two dimensions, not only on marriage matter, on every matter. It's either it is induced or it is direct. If you want to marry any woman or man, you look at the factors Professor we should look at. Professor, most importantly, you should examine the issue of religion. So when you are doing things in line with this, then you will not suffer attack.
There's no doubt about it that some cases is spiritual. Some people are under curse because of insult against an elderly person, which the Bible forbids.
It appears obvious that many single men and women are finding it difficult to locate the perfect partner. Would matchmaking, especially by parents, help?
It has actually worked for some people. For some, it didn't end up well. So it all depends on someone's luck.
The person you live with for the rest of your life shouldn't be somebody they force on you or they think is the best for you.
The last word by these respondents is that marriage is a good thing ordained by God and should be experienced by all and sundry. The stumbling block for most people, they say, is the fear of the unknown, which makes them delay the decision to settle down. They therefore advised all those single men and women to take the bull by the horn and do the needful.
Yes, face your fears. Marriage is a good thing, and good luck as you work towards being responsible. It was celebration time for the families of NTA's former Director Training and Capacity Building, late Frank Williams, and late Nze Gerald Dibia Onyekure, when their children, Asabe and Udochukwu, tied the nuptial knot. This took place in Abuja, from where Glory Ekanem reports.
The saying that love knows no bounds was clearly displayed as Asabe Williams from Niger State said I do to a heartthrob Udochukwu Onyekure, an Igbo by tribe, in a grand style.
God the Son, God the Holy Spirit.
The officiating minister, Pastor John Olabode, admonished the couple to build their marriage on God because marriage is a mystery that demands spiritual capacity to understand.
If you do not possess sufficient strength and spiritual capacity to handle it, it becomes crisis.
Family and guests had this to say to the newlyweds.
A mother giving out a child in my lifetime, I never thought of it, but I know that God never leaves me. My advice to them is that the wife should be a loving wife, a loving mother. Let her honor and respect her husband.
They should be very prayerful to keep their wedding, to make their wedding a success.
So she should be a helper to her husband. Sometimes know his vision, know what is next, and some responsibilities. They need to share it together.
So happy, so overwhelmed, and they'll see their children's children in Jesus' name.
For them not to have a third partner in whatever they have, they should always try their best to solve the problem within themselves.
Sabe and Udochukwu speak about their love story this way.
They're cool, we met, love at first sight, and that was it. And now we're here.
So tell me what you like about him.
He's just so humble, quiet, very shy.
How do you feel today marrying Asabe?
I'm so happy, as you can see.
Earlier, a blend of the culture of Niger people and the Igbos was on display at the traditional wedding.
Congrats to the bride and groom. Yes, wishing you a great life together. No doubt the health benefits of fruits are enormous, but have you wondered how safe the ones imported are, given the fact that they are preserved with chemicals for transportation and durability? Ponder about that while we'll take another break and come back to talk about this.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Sensitivity definitely holds you back. You avoid a whole lot of things, and that's not you. You have a tiring day, and you grab a cold water, and you're drinking it. The pain comes, and it's always very sharp, and you just stop for like some seconds, and people will be talking to you, be like, wait. And that was where I was like, okay, I have to do something about it. So I saw a dentist, and she recommended Sensodyne. I'm like, I just need a toothpaste. Life's back to normal, even better than normal. All's good. No pain, no shock.
The new Cowbell Choco formula has been stolen. Get it back at all costs.
Great tasting new Cowbell Choco gives you the get up and go to be at the top of your game. Now with Vitarich Plus Iron. New great tasting Cowbell Choco, a creamy chocolatey drink that helps give energy to get up and go.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
We must remain steadfast in our commitment to steer this country back to greatness.
He is one of the best brands that we have as a country, and we have to take advantage of that.
Look inwards and see how we'll be able to enhance our resources.
The problem of Nigeria is man-made. It's just a question of patience and cooperate with the government. Nigeria will go back to those better days.
The man who's leading us, he wouldn't talk much, but he does a lot.
We shall deliver security, jobs, and infrastructure. This is the right of all Nigerians. Our actions will speak for us.
Across Nigeria, there are more than 101 tourist and cultural destinations that can account for over 1 trillion naira in national revenues if properly harnessed. With profitable opportunities across its multiple value chain and to promote the Nigerian culture and tourism sector for optimum economic development, the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, is inviting stakeholders to the 2016 National Summit on Culture and Tourism. Theme: Repositioning Culture and Tourism in a Diversified Economy. Special guest of honor, the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Exhibition and Gala Night, 27 April 2016, 7 p.m. Conference opening and plenaries, 28th and 29th April 2016, 8 a.m. daily. Venue, Congress Hall, Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Signed, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Culture.
Welcome back. Now to the ancient city of Kano. Back in the day, the groundnut pyramids in the ancient city was a fountain which provided wealth and pleasure to farmers and over 2 decades in the country. For one reason or the other, the pyramids disappeared. Can they ever return? In this report, Yohannasu Hassan Barao looks at the prospects of revitalizing one of the pride of the North.
To be the famous Kano Groundnut Pyramid Terminal. This is what remains of the terminal. Children and youth playing football, learning how to drive cars. Until the 70s, the most outstanding feature of Kano, the ancient commercial city of the North, was the Groundnut Pyramid. Kano Terminal Center became famous in the world commerce following the magnificent groundnut pyramid during the agricultural boom, especially in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, which contributed to the export of earnings of the region. The formation of the pyramid was the idea of the famous wealthy merchant Al-Hassan Dantata, a businessman who was also a merchant of kola nut. He buys and stocks groundnuts in the pyramid of 11,000 bags each. However, the discovery of oil boom in the 70s led to the neglect of agri sector and the disappearance of the pyramid. 77-year-old Na Usama Dankullu, who had benefited from the boom, now feels the doom as he recalls with nostalgia the good old days.
Nan kofar mazugal din nan gun kakanninmu suke zuwa.
During those days, we enjoy the granite pyramid, but whoever has no farm is considered to be poor.
Zuwa su girbi da sauransu. In ka fito kofa karfe 7 nan bakin kofa, anan zaka samu nan mutane nan sun kai 100.
The question now is, can the granite pyramid be revived? Professor Mahmoud Daneji believes it can, through the provision of incentives to farmers.
Government should be seen as serious in giving enabling environment. For example, the seeds that probably we use in the last 50, 60 years, are no longer the seeds that we require now, looking at the circumstances. So there is need to fund researches.
Abubakar Sadiq, a member of the oil seed processors, attributes the shutdown of many companies of their members to inadequate raw materials.
We can expand much more than our capacity now, but the fear is, or the reasoning is, if we expand our capacity now to maybe 1,000 per day, are we sure Nigerian agricultural production can give us enough seeds that we can crush?
An economist, Professor Garba Sheka, is of the opinion that the pyramid can be revived since the farmers and land are there, and with modern farming techniques, it's just a matter of commitment for the groundnut to be cultivated in commercial quantities.
If those areas where groundnut is being produced, especially around Jigawa area, if those areas can be reactivated now to produce groundnut, it's good, because going by our elder brother, Alhaji Saidu Datuju Adama, he was given us an analysis that groundnut is even better than petrol. If you can get a gallon of groundnut oil, it's a bit more expensive than a gallon of petrol.
With the resolve of the present administration to make agriculture the mainstay of Nigeria's economy, perhaps the likes of Babana Usama, whose hope of seeing the return of the pyramid fades away, can dream along with farmers as agriculture is set to return to its exalted position in Nigeria.
Revitalizing those wonderful pyramids and boosting agriculture generally will definitely enhance the national economy. Eat one fruit a day and keep the doctor away. Yes, the body needs all the vitamins and minerals contained in fruits to stay healthy. In a bid to keep the doctor away, some Nigerians have adopted a trend which, if care is not taken, may eventually not keep the doctor away. Tekla Wilkie is waiting to tell us what this is all about.
It has been proven that regular intake of fruits can keep the doctor away. Medical experts say fruit not only prevent ailments, but help in managing them.
It helps you build up your body tissues. Vitamin C is something that helps you fight infection. And zinc plays a cross-functional role in the human metabolism. And also, if you want to look at folate, these are things that helps in the build-up of your amino acids and all of those things.
Fruits come in different types, shapes, and sizes, and are available in their season. As for the species, the consumer's taste board and preferences say it all.
I like pear a lot because it's good for the skin, as well as, like I said, it's tasty. It's an acquired taste to an extent.
While fruits abound in Nigeria and do not cost an arm and a leg to purchase, some Nigerians have developed appetite for foreign fruits.
The local fruit is very good. It's our homemade, and we try to promote our natural food. And all this, there's no fertilizer, no It's natural.
Whatever we have here, whatever we can produce here, it's very important and good that we patronize them. We've seen what has been happening to the Naira, and in any way we can support the government, we should do that. If buying our local fruit is one of them, so be it. But even apart from that, our local fruits definitely taste better.
Apart from encouraging capital flight with every purchase of imported fruits, there is a critical question as to the level of chemical exposure these imported fruits are subjected to for preservative purposes.
If you have a choice to make, you take the organic grown fruits, fresh fruits, or fresh foods.
Take or buy, the chemical will certainly have effect on the body. We might not know, but basically they will have effect on the body. So I always prefer to buy the natural.
How safe are these chemicals?
Have food grade wax, and what it does is to protect that fruit from direct contact with atmospheric oxygen that can subject it to fast decay. Washing can remove the wax, and when you wash adequately, it removes the wax, and then you are not exposed to danger. Vitamins may be lost, but minerals are still there. So you still have fiber, you still get some nutrient in them, yes.
There are all kinds of diseases these days that it's not proven, but you never know. They could very well be traced back to maybe the chemicals that were used to grow them. So as natural as possible.
Fruits are best taken when they are fresh. When they are fresh, of course, not all preservatives are healthy. Whatever your enzyme cannot really break down, tear down to give you the nutrients you need, of course. You should stay away from such.
While it's exciting and appetizing to try out the different fruits, experts have advised consumers to patronize locally grown fruits for their safety and health benefits, as what does not decay easily may not be too healthy for consumption.
Some of us are hearing about wax on fruits for the first time. Like the expert advice, let's go organic by eating our local fruits. There appears to be a glimmer of hope for subscribers of the various telecom networks in Nigeria who have been raising their voices against poor services, especially unsolicited text messages. It is the Minister of Communications himself who beamed this ray of hope. Musa Toliat will relay the rest of this report.
It's been more than a decade since telecom subscribers have been groaning under the weight of unwarranted services such as unsolicited text messages, automatic data credit renewals and removals, forced caller tunes, drop calls, and a host of other services.
So many hidden charges. I actually migrated the family and friend number to another. The popular thing, even on their website, is that it's free. But when I did that, they deducted a certain amount of money. And when you look at that, you are surprised because this is supposed to be free.
You make calls, at times the calls don't get through, yet you're charged.
The most annoying one last week was caller tune, which I really do not even like all the caller tunes. Like I'm not really a fan of it. Deducting my money without my consent, to me, is theft.
So many times they deduct my credit. Yeah. I called them, they said maybe I sent SMS, which I did not. It's very bad, it's unfair.
They should find a new means to get their own money than leave the people to be loading. And if they load, whenever they want to buy something from them, they should all buy on their own free will, not by force.
If you don't subscribe to a thing, I don't see the reason why they should cut off money or they should, keep sending messages that are irrelevant.
In what appears to be inaction by the Nigerian Communications Commission to check this trend, some fraudulent people have capitalized on the situation to send fake text messages, especially with intention to extort money from unsuspected subscribers. While at an event in Lagos, the Minister of Communication, Adeba Ashitu, took a swipe at telecom operators for what he described as unwholesome practices by them to rip off subscribers.
I had called to invite telecom operators to Abuja to a meeting, and I warned them that they must find a solution to end this malice. This is a very, very serious issue. You might think that taking is a small money. Even for us who can afford to lose 20 naira, 10 naira, 4 naira, because of the illegality, because of the unlawfulness, it becomes unacceptable And I think on behalf of the people of Nigeria, we have to find a solution to it.
He then mandated the NCC to stop telecom companies from taking undue advantage of subscribers.
If we appeal to you and our appeal will fall on deaf ears, then we may have to request that subscribers should make demands on telecom operators to return monies illegally taken from them.
The telecom companies, in the eye of the storm, made this promise.
Some of the issues, I must say, are legacy issues. So I guess there's a point when they become frustrating issues. We need to relieve some of these issues that have been presented, and they're viable issues.
But we need some time to articulate the right policies and actions. It's not something you wish. It's not a wishful thinking.
We hope the telecoms companies saw that subscribers could do without the extras. HSA is a thing of the mind. This perhaps explains the mood of some senior citizens in Ilorin, Kwara State, who took time out to catch some fun at this year's party organized for them by NTA Ilorin. The party, which is the station's way of celebrating the elderly, brought senior citizens together from all parts of the state. Iyabode Olorunshola captured the thrills and frills for your viewing delight.
These are senior citizens in Kwara State digging it out with some dance steps to the admiration of everyone. It was another opportunity to put on their best attires, for which the best dressed was rewarded alongside the best dancers. It was also an opportunity to go down memory lane to remember the good old times. Of course, popular comedian Obama was on ground to thrill them with his rib-cracking jokes, while Femi Ibidapo provided music for the pleasure of the celebrants and guests. The chief host and the general manager NTA Ilorin, Adetunji Majid, and supporters of the program, who are the executive director of SIP, Pastor Olatunde Oladokun, and the Catholic Bishop of Ilorin, Most Reverend Ayo Atoyebi Maria, are of the opinion that senior citizens deserve to be cared for.
Our parents are here when we were young. They were the ones who were bothered about our survival. We should all take good care of them.
Let us be strict to all the medical prescriptions given to us. And at this age of ours, we need adequate rest and less thinking.
Government should start something about the elderly and the aging, particularly those who work for government, that there should be elderly homes in every city. Financing that is not a problem. We have many generous people who contribute, and the government also can be a partner in that thing.
A medical expert, Dr. Anila, said the most important area of need for these vulnerable elders is medical care.
It's expected that government should be able to cater for their medical needs, because there are some peculiar medical problems associated with aging. So such medical services should be made free or highly subsidized for the elderly.
Some of them told NTA News what they desire most.
In form of bringing of our grandchildren, in form of staying home to help our children to bring up their children.
And there are certain sickness that should be treated free of charge in any of the hospital. Kidney dialysis is one. All these terminal cases, federal government should take care of those, whoever may be involved.
Of course, they enjoyed local delicacies, specially prepared for the aged, such as amala, ewedu, and dried fish or snail.
Age is but a number. Great to see the elderly having fun. Nigeria's first ever national football team goalkeeper laid to rest. Details after this timeout.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Fine girl, no vessel. Me and my guy, they also do. I hear the observe it, but you make sense. See, I like it. I bet come on your leg or wire.
But one, I use a brilliant legend. Make some noise!
I feel very, very good.
Thanks for staying on the line. Nigeria's first national team goalkeeper, Pasam Ibiam, who died in December 2015, has been buried in his hometown, Uwana, Afikpo, in Ebonyi State. Pasam Ibiam, aged 91, was the last to pass on out of the 1949 Nigeria-UK tourist team. Paul Ogaji witnessed the burial ceremony and reports.
Pasam Ibiam, nicknamed Black Magnet, started his football career at Hope Water Training Institute, Calabar, in 1945. He played for many clubs in the country, and so spectacular was Pa Ibiam's performance that he was selected to be one of the 18 players in the UK tourist team in 1949. At the first international match between Nigeria and Sierra Leone, Pa Ibiam was the goalkeeper. This was also in 1949. He became the first Nigerian goalkeeper to play for a foreign club when he joined the Great Olympics of Accra, Ghana in 1956.
I'm going to be great, but my own state don't recognize me as they should. As Anyam was recognized in Abia State, Imo State, Balogun in Lagos State, there was nobody talking about me.
In spite of the downpour, relations, friends, and some lovers of the game of football converged on Mission Hill Playground in Owana to pay their last respect. In his sermon at the service, Pastor Chiedo Opara of the Redeemed Christian Church of God urged people to ensure that they live fulfilled lives, describing Pasam Ibiam as a man who did just that. Pa Ibiam's remains were later laid to rest. 93-year-old Idem Ibiam is his elder brother.
What do I say about him? I only have to praise and glorify God for having made him to live. God took care of him to live for 91 good years. And you can see how much God loves us. I am 93, and I am healthy and strong and splitting firewood. There's nothing I don't do. Laundry, etc.
I still have one regret. You didn't go to UK.
Well, that is it. But even that will come. It will come. I say God has made that arrangement. In no time you will hear.
He's devoted himself as a sportsman He doesn't miss even a second in any appointment concerning football.
The Ebonyi State government was represented.
We're going to discuss, to know the possibility of, immortalizing him, possibly naming our state stadium after him.
May his soul continue to rest in peace. Amen. Sunday last week, we promised you a bumper package on this edition of Newsline, and we delivered on that promise tonight. We are closing shop now, but we'll be back again on Sunday next week, God willing. Thanks for your time. Good night, and God bless Nigeria.
The finals of the Men and Women African Cup of Nations. It's always frenetic. On days such as this, there are no tribes, no religion. Here, Nigerian warriors are out to represent, to show the skills that makes us the best. On days like this, the color is one. The color is green. When we get the job done, it is because we have stuck together. When we celebrate, we stand together. Nigerians, united in victory. We are Nigerians. We are one.